Hi guys, Irina here and welcome back to my channel where I review everything tech. In today's video, let's open the box with the new Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro. I'm especially curious about the camera performance of this phone, so I'll do a quick camera test in this video and also we'll take a look at some new camera features of this phone. So let's get straight to the unboxing. In the box we get this envelope with a SIM tool, a case, which is such a rare thing these days, and we get a user guide. Then we have the Redmi Note 10 Pro itself. And also here we get a 33-watt power adapter and a USB-A to USB-C cable. It's important to note that the Redmi Note 10 Pro comes with a pre-installed screen protector, which is also such a rare thing these days. So basically, when you get this phone, it's completely ready to go right out of the box. Even if you decide to get a fancier case and protective glass, you don't have to worry about scratches during your first days with your new phone. And speaking of the case you get in the box, well, yes, it's a simple, clear case. It has a matte finish on the back, it's quite grippy, and I like that it has a pore plug, which helps to prevent any dirt and dust from coming in. The corners of the case are pretty snug here, and that's why it's a little tricky to put it on the phone, but overall this case is actually pretty good, at least until you decide to buy something else. And by the way, speaking of dirt and dust, the Redmi Note 10 Pro is IP53 certified, which means this phone is protected from dust and it's splash resistant, but it's not completely waterproof. I got my Note 10 Pro in Onyx Gray, and this color looks nice. You could also get your Note 10 Pro in Glacier Blue and Gradient Bronze. The camera module looks really impressive on this phone, and I'll get back to it in a minute. The body of this phone feels like plastic. By the way, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack on this phone, which I think a lot of people will appreciate. Speaking of the size and dimensions of this phone, if I put it between the Galaxy S21 Ultra and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, as you can see, they're really close in terms of size. So yes, it's a big phone, but I would say it's not too bulky. When it comes to weight, it's about 195 grams. It's got a good weight to it, it's not too heavy, and it's not too light. And when it comes to display, we have a 6.67-inch AMOLED display on this phone. There are some options in the display settings, so you could adjust the colors of the display the way you like it, and also you could change the refresh rate of this display. By default, it's set to 60 Hz, and you could set it to 120 Hz, and that's actually pretty amazing to see a 120 Hz display on a budget phone. When it comes to security features, we have the fingerprint sensor on the power button on the side, and I think for me personally this is the most convenient location for a fingerprint reader. And the good thing is that we also have the face unlock on this phone. Now let's talk about the camera setup of the Note 10 Pro. We have 4 cameras on this phone, including a 108-megapixel main camera, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera, a 5-megapixel telemacro camera, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. And when it comes to the front camera, we have a 16-megapixel selfie camera on this phone. By the way, we get some new camera features on the Note 10 Pro, such as dual video, long exposure, clone, and vlog. And let's try the dual video. So we are in the dual video mode, and by the way, this is the sound from the Redmi Note 10 Pro, so what do you think, guys? And these are some of my first photos shot on the Redmi Note 10 Pro. And let's look at some videos. You can shoot 4K videos at 30 frames per second on this phone. And also, let's test the video stabilization. We get a steady video mode on the Redmi Note 10 Pro that makes the video look smoother, but it's important to know that it's only compatible with 1080p 30 frames per second. When it comes to battery, we have a big one here. It's 5020 mAh on this phone, just like on its predecessor, the Redmi Note 9 Pro, and I'll share my experience with its battery life when I spend more time with this phone. It's important to know that this phone does not support wireless charging or reverse wireless charging, but let's not forget that this is a budget phone. The Redmi Note 10 Pro runs on Snapdragon 732G. You can get this phone with either 6 or 8 GB of RAM and up to 128 GB of expandable storage, since we do have a microSD slot on this phone. Stay tuned for my upcoming videos with the Redmi Note 10 Pro, and let me know, guys, what kind of videos you wanna see with this phone. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.